The hospital said they couldn't keep me any longer just for recovery, so my 4 children promised they would take turns caring for me. 15 days later, the nurse told me I was being discharged. I called an Uber myself. My name is Benjamin Patterson, 68 years old, a widower. They thought I had nothing left. They had no idea what I had quietly built all along. I was never the kind of man who complained. I raised 4 children, Michael, Sarah, David, and my youngest, Kevin, with the belief that hard work pays off. My wife Linda used to say I had the soul of a businessman. While I ran Patterson Construction, she kept the books, and together we saved up enough to buy 3 commercial properties back in the 80s. They're old buildings, Ben, she would say, running her fingers over the property deeds we kept in our bedroom safe, but they're our retirement security. Someday this land will be worth more than we ever dreamed. Linda always saw the future clearer than I did. She insisted we buy that seemingly worthless land on the outskirts of town when everyone thought we were crazy. Trust me. She'd whisper at night when I worried about the mortgage payments. I can see what this place will become. When the doctor told me I needed bypass surgery, it felt like the ground was shifting under my feet. This is major surgery, Mr. Patterson, Dr. Rodriguez said, his expression serious. Your heart has 3 blocked arteries. Recovery will take time, at least 4 to 6 weeks. You'll need someone by your side for several weeks, especially the first 2. The word bypass hit me like a sledgehammer. I'd built houses, managed crews, survived the 2008 recession, but this felt different. This was my body giving me a final warning. I called my children over for Sunday dinner. The smell of Linda's famous pot roast recipe filled the kitchen. I'd learned to make it exactly like she did before she passed 5 years ago. Sitting at the same oak table where they grew up, where Linda and I had made our biggest decisions, I broke the news. Their reactions came immediately. "Don't worry, Dad," said Michael, my oldest, a construction engineer who'd followed in my footsteps. "We'll take turns staying with you. You've always been there for us." Sarah, my only daughter and a lawyer, squeezed my weathered hand. "I'll be with you the first few days after surgery. That's when you'll need me most." "I'll handle midweek," added David, my project manager's son, who worked for a development company downtown. "And I'll cover weekends," said Kevin from across town, his tone confident despite being unemployed again. "We'll take care of everything, Dad. You raised us right. You'll never be alone." Relief washed over me like cool water on a hot construction site. What I feared wasn't the surgery itself. It was being helpless, dependent, vulnerable. But my children had promised, and Patterson men kept their word. At least, I thought they did. The surgery was scheduled for Monday morning. I remember Jennifer, the pre-op nurse, asking about my emergency contacts. "You have 4 children listed here, Mr. Patterson. They'll be here during recovery." "Yes," I said with pride. "They promised to take shifts. I won't be alone." She smiled warmly. "That's wonderful. Family support makes all the difference in cardiac recovery." The surgery took 6 hours, Dr. Rodriguez later told me they'd had to do 4 bypasses instead of 3. My heart was in worse shape than the tests had shown. When I woke up in the cardiac ICU, tubes down my throat, wires monitoring my every heartbeat, I expected to see familiar faces hovering over me. But the chair beside my bed was empty. "They're probably in the waiting room," I told myself, my voice barely a whisper through the breathing tube. "They'll be here soon." Day 1 passed in a haze of medications and recovery protocols. Nurses came and went, checking vitals, adjusting IVs, monitoring my progress. But no Michael, no Sarah, no David, no Kevin. On day 2, they removed the breathing tube. My voice was hoarse. My chest felt like someone had driven a truck over it, but I could speak. The first thing I did was call Sarah. The phone rang 6 times before going to voicemail, her professional voice. "You've reached Sarah Patterson, attorney at law. Please leave a detailed message, and I'll return your call within 24 hours. "Sweetheart," I croaked into the phone, "it's Dad, I'm awake." The surgery went well, but they had to do 4 bypasses instead of 3. "I'm having trouble with the medication schedule, and the nurses are really busy. Could you come by when you get a chance?" 2 hours passed. Then my phone buzzed with a text. "Dad, so glad surgery went well. I'm absolutely swamped with the Morrison case. You know how these corporate mergers are. I asked David to check on you today. Love you," but David never came. I spent that second day watching other patients receive visitors. The man in the next bed had his wife and 3 grandchildren there all afternoon, the kids coloring pictures that now decorated his bed rails. The woman across the hall had so many flowers from friends that the nurses had to move some to the windowsill. My bedside table held only hospital water cups and the TV remote. On day 3, I tried calling Michael straight to voicemail. I texted David, "Son, wondering if you might stop by the hospital today. Having some questions about the discharge planning." His response came 4 hours later. "Hey Dad, crazy week at work. We're breaking ground on that new shopping center project. I'll try to swing by this weekend. Hang in there." Weekend was 4 days away. By day 5, I understood. They weren't coming. The promises made over pot roast and family togetherness were as empty as my visitor's chair. I was alone in that sterile room with nothing but the steady beeping of machines to remind me I was still alive. That's when I texted Kevin, my baby boy, now 35. "Son, feeling pretty isolated here. Any chance you could visit your old dad?" His reply was the cruelest of all. "Dad, I'm going through some stuff right now. My artistic vision is really flowing and I can't break the creative process. But I'm sending positive energy your way." Positive energy. While his father lay in a hospital bed with his chest cracked open like a broken toy. On day 7, everything changed. I was struggling to open my medication bottles when Jennifer Davis, the head nurse, walked into my room. She'd been checking on me more than the others, and I'd started to look forward to her visits. "Let me help you with those," she said, sitting down beside my bed. Her hands were gentle as she organized my pills into the daily dispenser. "Mr. Patterson, I hope you don't mind me asking, but do you have family?" The question hit me like a punch to my already tender chest. I looked at her, this young woman who barely knew me, who'd shown more care in a week than my own children had in my hour of greatest need. "I have 4 children," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. She nodded slowly, her eyes full of understanding. "I see." She didn't say anything else, but I could read her expression. She'd seen this before: elderly patients with children who promised the world and delivered nothing. "If you need anything at all, just press that call button, day or night, okay? We're here," and she meant it. Over the next 8 days, Jennifer became more than my nurse. She became my lifeline when I couldn't sleep because of the pain. She'd sit with me for a few minutes and tell me about her kids, twin boys who played Little League. When I felt discouraged about my slow progress walking the halls, she'd celebrate every small victory like I was her own father. The physical therapist, a man named Josh Anderson, was equally dedicated. "You're doing great, Mr. Patterson," he'd say as I struggled to walk 20 feet without getting winded. "Your heart is healing beautifully. Dr. Rodriguez says you're ahead of schedule." But my emotional heart felt shattered. Each day that passed without a visit, without a real phone call, without any sign that my children cared whether I lived or died, took another piece of my faith in family. On day 10, I overheard a conversation that broke something inside me. 2 nurses were talking in the hallway outside my room. "The man in 302-, does he really not have any family?" one asked. "He says he has 4 children. But I've never seen anyone," Jennifer replied. "It's heartbreaking. He's such a sweet man, built a construction company from nothing, raised those kids as a single father after his wife died." Wait, his wife died 5 years ago. Cancer. He's been alone since then, but he talks about his children like they hung the moon. I closed my eyes, pretending to sleep. Linda had died 5 years ago, not recently like they thought, but the pain was still fresh. After she passed, I'd thrown myself into being the best father and grandfather I could be. I'd paid for Sarah's law school loans. I'd given Michael the down payment for his house. I'd covered David's health insurance when his company downsized. I'd supported Kevin's artistic pursuits month after month, year after year, and this was my reward: abandonment when I needed them most. On day 12, my cardiologist, Dr. Rodriguez, came in with a clipboard and a smile. "Benjamin, you're healing remarkably well. Your heart function is excellent. Your incision sites look great. I think we can discharge you day after tomorrow." My stomach dropped. "Day after tomorrow? That's wonderful news, Doc. You'll need someone to drive you home, of course. And you shouldn't be alone for the first week or 2. Do you have arrangements made?" I nodded, not trusting my voice. "Arrangements, right." That afternoon I called Michael again. This time he answered on the second ring. "Dad, how are you feeling?" I've been meaning to call, but work has been absolutely insane. We're behind schedule on 3 projects, and I've been pulling 16-hour days. "I'm being discharged in 2 days, son. Could you pick me up?" "Discharged? Already? That's fantastic." "Listen, Dad, I wish I could, but I have a site inspection that morning that I absolutely can't miss." "What about Sarah? She's great with this kind of thing." Sarah's phone went straight to voicemail. David didn't answer either. Kevin's phone was disconnected. On day 14, Jennifer found me staring out the window at the parking lot below. Families were coming and going, hugging patients, carrying flowers and balloons. "Mr. Patterson, is everything okay? You seem troubled." "They can't pick me up tomorrow," I said simply. "My children are all too busy." She was quiet for a long moment. "Would you like me to call someone else? A friend? A neighbor?" I almost laughed, but it would have been too bitter. I don't want to be a burden to anyone else. "You're not a burden," she said firmly. "You're a person who deserves care and respect. Can I ask you something?" I nodded. "When your children were growing up, were you there for them every day? Every school play, every baseball game, every science fair project? When they were sick, I slept in chairs beside their beds. When they needed money for college, for houses, for their dreams, I gave it to them without question. And now they're too busy for a 30-minute drive to the hospital." Jennifer sat down in the visitor's chair that had remained empty for 2 weeks. "My father is about your age," she said quietly. "If he had heart surgery and I didn't visit him, didn't help him get home safely, I couldn't live with myself. I want you to know that this isn't normal. This isn't how loving children behave." Her words were like medicine for a wound I didn't know I had. Someone else saw it too. I wasn't being dramatic or unreasonable. My children's behavior was wrong. "What will you do?" she asked. "I'll call an Uber," I said. "I've gotten pretty good at using the app." "An Uber after major heart surgery?" "People do what they have to do." She looked at me for a long moment, then stood up. "Let me see what I can arrange. No promises, but maybe I can help you get home safely." That evening, Jennifer came back to my room with a cup of real coffee, not the hospital swill, and a gentle smile. "My husband and I would like to drive you home tomorrow, if that's okay with you. No charge, no obligation, just 2 human beings helping another human being." I felt tears sting my eyes for the first time since the surgery. "I couldn't ask you to do that." "You didn't ask. I offered. There's a difference." As I lay in bed that night, my last night in the hospital, I realized something profound had shifted inside me. For 15 days, I'd been waiting for my children to remember they loved me, but strangers, Jennifer, Josh, even some of the other patients had shown me more genuine care than my own flesh and blood. Maybe it was time to stop waiting and start acting. Jennifer and her husband Mark arrived at 10 a.m. sharp on day 15. Mark was a quiet man with kind eyes who worked as an electrician, and he carried my small overnight bag like it weighed nothing. They helped me into their pickup truck with the same care my children should have shown. "Beautiful day for going home," Jennifer said. But I could hear the concern in her voice. She knew what I was going home to minus an empty house, and the reality of my situation. The drive took 25 minutes. Mark and Jennifer made comfortable small talk about their boys' upcoming baseball season, the weather, anything except the obvious fact that a complete stranger was driving me home from major surgery because my own family couldn't be bothered. When we pulled into my driveway, the house looked exactly as I'd left it 15 days ago. Same newspapers yellowing on the porch that I'd forgotten to cancel. Same lawn that desperately needed mowing. Same silence. Mark insisted on helping me to the door and checking that everything was working properly. Lights, heat, plumbing. Jennifer waited until I was settled in my recliner before they left. "Mr. Patterson," she said, standing in my doorway, "you have my number. If you need anything at all, minus please call. Promise me." After they left, I sat in Linda's favorite armchair and looked around the living room. The silence was deafening. Not the peaceful quiet of a home at rest, but the hollow emptiness of abandonment. I made my way to the kitchen, moving slowly to avoid straining my healing chest. The refrigerator stood like a white monument to neglect. Inside, a half-empty bottle of orange juice that had expired a week ago, some wilted celery, and a container of leftover Chinese takeout that had grown a layer of fuzzy mold. That's when it hit me fully. My children hadn't just failed to visit me in the hospital. They hadn't even thought about what I'd need when I came home. No groceries, no fresh milk, no basic preparations for an elderly man recovering from major surgery. I eased into the chair at my kitchen table, the same table where I'd served countless family dinners, where I'd helped with homework, where I'd celebrated birthdays and holidays. The silence was broken only by the ticking of Linda's old clock on the wall. I pulled out my phone and ordered grocery delivery. Eggs, milk, bread, some easy-to-prepare meals. Technology, at least, didn't let me down. While waiting for the delivery, I walked slowly to my home office. The oak filing cabinet stood in the corner like a faithful sentinel. Inside were the remnants of Patterson construction, all the business records Linda and I had meticulously maintained over 4 decades. But what I was looking for was in the bottom drawer, the family financial folder. I pulled out the thick manila envelope labeled Family Loans and Expenses in Linda's careful handwriting. She'd insisted we document everything, even family transactions. "Business is business, honey," she used to say. "Even with family, especially with family." Michael's file was the thickest. The most recent entry was dated 8 months ago. 0.8 thousand loan for equipment upgrade, business expansion project. His signature was confident on the promissory note, promising repayment within 60 days of project completion. That project had supposedly finished 6 months ago. Below that were years of smaller loans. Down payment help for his house, $25,000. Emergency car repairs, $3,000 to $500. His daughter's private school tuition when money got tight, $12,000. None of it repaid. All of it dismissed as family helping family. Sarah's file contained different paperwork. Tyler, her son, and my grandson lived in one of my rental properties. The lease agreement showed 4 months of unpaid rent at $900 per month, $3,600 plus late fees. The notes in my handwriting showed multiple conversations where Sarah promised Tyler's just focusing on his studies right now, Dad. We'll catch up next semester. Meanwhile, her social media, which I'd learned to check after Linda suggested I keep up with the grandkids, showed expensive ski trips to Colorado and weekend getaways to wine country. Focusing on studies apparently was expensive. David's file was simpler but perhaps more telling: health insurance dependency forms going back 3 years. At 40 years old, he was still listed as my dependent, costing me $600 per month in additional premiums. His employer offered insurance, but it was too expensive and had terrible coverage. My insurance, paid for by my retirement savings, was much better. Kevin's file was heartbreaking in its simplicity. Monthly bank transfer authorizations for $1,200 going back 7 years. Living expenses while pursuing artistic career. At 35, Kevin hadn't held a steady job since college. He'd had exhibitions, he'd had opportunities, he'd had everything except responsibility. I sat back in my chair, Linda's chair, really. She'd picked it out and used it for all her bookkeeping. The numbers swam before my eyes, but not from medication or fatigue, from rage. The total was staggering. Between unpaid loans, free rent, insurance coverage, and monthly allowances, my children were costing me nearly $14,000 per month. And for what? So they could abandon me when I needed them most. My phone buzzed a text from Sarah. "Dad, heard you got home okay from Jennifer. She found my number in your emergency contacts. Sorry I couldn't be there to pick you up. The Morrison merger is at a critical stage. How are you feeling? Love you." I stared at the message for a long time. She'd heard from Jennifer. Not from any concern for me, but because a hospital stranger had reached out to check on my welfare. I typed back, feeling fine. Jennifer and her husband were very kind to drive me home since family was unavailable. Interesting to discover who shows up when you need them. The response came quickly. "Dad, you sound upset. Are you okay? Should I come over?" Now she wanted to come over? After 15 days of abandonment. After I was safely home and no longer her responsibility. Now she was concerned. Another message followed. Also, Tyler mentioned something about rent being due. I thought we were handling that next month. There it was, the real reason for her sudden concern. Tyler's free ride might be in jeopardy. I walked to the window and looked out at the property Linda and I had worked so hard to buy and maintain. The same land she'd insisted would someday be valuable beyond our dreams. The same investment my children assumed would eventually be theirs, regardless of how they treated the people who built it. My phone rang. Michael's name appeared on the screen. I let it ring. Then David called. I let that ring too. Finally, Kevin tried calling from a different number. I answered that one. "Dad, thank God you're okay. I was so worried about you. How did the surgery go? Are you feeling better?" His voice was bright, cheerful, completely devoid of shame for his 15-day absence. "Hello, Kevin. I've been meaning to visit, but you know how it is. I've been working on this amazing new series of paintings about urban isolation, and when the creative flow hits, I just can't break away from it. But I've been thinking about you every day. Have you really? Absolutely. Hey, Dad, I hate to bring this up when you're recovering, but my rent is due tomorrow, and I'm a little short this month. Could you possibly?" I hung up. For the first time in 15 days, I smiled. The next morning, I called Linda's attorney, Matt Williams. He'd handled all our business deals for 25 years and had become a trusted friend. Matt arrived within 2 hours, carrying his familiar leather briefcase and wearing the same concerned expression I remembered from when we'd planned Linda's will. "Ben, you sounded different on the phone. What's going on?" I told him everything. The hospital abandonment, the financial audit, the years of unpaid loans and dependencies. He listened without interruption, occasionally making notes in his precise handwriting. "They have no idea what this property is actually worth, do they?" he asked when I finished. "They think these are just some old rental buildings that bring in a few $100s a month." Matt pulled out his laptop and showed me recent commercial real estate assessments. "Ben, the city rezoned this entire area 2 years ago. Your land isn't residential anymore, it's prime commercial development property." He opened a document that made my chest tighten for reasons that had nothing to do with surgery. The appraisal figure was $20 million. "Linda saw this coming," Matt said quietly. "She always said that land would make you wealthy someday. She was right. We spent the afternoon restructuring my affairs. New will, trust formations, asset protection strategies. By evening, my children's financial lifelines had been systematically severed. That's when I decided to call a family meeting. Sunday dinner had always been sacred in the Patterson household. Even after Linda passed, I'd maintained the tradition when possible. This Sunday would be different. I sent a group text to all 4 children. "Family dinner tomorrow, 6 p.m. Important family business to discuss. Attendance required." By 5:30 Sunday evening, they were all gathered in my living room. Michael arrived first, still in his work clothes and carrying his briefcase. Sarah came with Tyler, who slouched in the corner looking uncomfortable. David brought his wife Janet, who rarely attended family functions. Kevin showed up last, wearing paint-splattered jeans and smelling like he hadn't showered in days. "Dad, you look good," Michael said, though his eyes were already scanning the room like he was assessing property values. "Recovery seems to be going well." "The doctor says I'm ahead of schedule," I replied, settling into my chair. Amazing what proper rest and care can accomplish. Sarah leaned forward, her lawyer instincts kicking in. "Dad, Tyler mentioned you've been asking about rent payments." "I thought we discussed this. He's focused on his studies right now." "We did discuss it. Multiple times. That's part of what we need to talk about today." David shifted uncomfortably. "Dad, if this is about money, I can start looking into other insurance options. My company plan isn't great, but maybe." "It's about more than money, son. It's about respect. It's about family responsibility. It's about keeping promises." Kevin jumped in with his usual enthusiasm. "Dad, I know I've been out of touch, but the art world is so demanding. When inspiration strikes, you have to follow it. You understand, right?" "You always supported my dreams." I stood up slowly, feeling stronger than I had in weeks. "Dreams, promises, family support. Let's talk about all of those things." I walked to my desk and retrieved the financial files Matt and I had organized. "I want to share some numbers with you." Michael's face went pale. Sarah sat back in her chair. David looked at the floor. "Michael, you currently owe me $8,000 in unpaid business loans, plus 6 months of accumulated interest." "Sarah, Tyler owes 4 months of rent plus late fees, totaling $4,200. David, I've paid $21,600 in health insurance premiums for you over the past 3 years. Kevin, I've provided $84,000 in living expenses over the past 7 years." The room was dead silent. "Combined, you've cost me nearly $120,000 in unpaid debts and ongoing expenses. And when I needed you most, when I was lying alone in a hospital bed after major surgery, where were you?" "Dad," Sarah began, her lawyer voice emerging. "We all had legitimate excuses," I interrupted. "You had excuses. What you didn't have was basic human decency." Michael stood up, his face flushed. "This is ridiculous. We're family. Family helps family. You raised us to believe that. I raised you to believe in mutual respect and responsibility. I apparently failed." That's when Matt Williams knocked on the door. I'd asked him to arrive at 7 p.m., and his timing was perfect. "Come in, Matt." The sight of our family attorney carrying legal documents changed the entire atmosphere. Michael's business confidence evaporated. Sarah's lawyer instincts went into overdrive. David and Kevin looked genuinely frightened. "Good evening, everyone," Matt said professionally. "Ben asked me to attend this meeting to discuss some important changes to the family estate planning." He opened his briefcase and pulled out documents. "As you may know, Your father's property holdings have increased substantially in value due to recent commercial rezoning. The current appraised value is $20 million. Tyler dropped his phone. Sarah gasped. Michael sat down hard. 20 million. David whispered. That's correct, Matt continued. However, given recent circumstances, Ben has decided to make some adjustments to his estate planning and his ongoing family financial arrangements. He handed each of them a packet of papers. Effective immediately, all loans are due in full with interest. All unpaid rent must be settled within 30 days. All insurance dependencies are terminated. All monthly allowances are discontinued. Kevin started crying. Sarah began protesting about legal challenges. Michael threatened to contest everything in court. I raised my hand for silence. You have 30 days to settle your debts. After that, Matt will pursue collection through legal channels. As for the estate, well, ungrateful children rarely make good inheritors. Dad, you can't be serious, Sarah said. We made mistakes, but we're still your family. Family, I repeated. When I was alone in that hospital for 15 days, Jennifer the nurse showed me more family love than my own children. When I needed a ride home, strangers cared more about my welfare than my own blood relatives. I walked to the door and opened it. You're welcome to earn your way back into my good graces. But the days of taking advantage of your father's generosity are over. One by one, they filed out. Kevin was the last to leave, tears streaming down his face. Dad, please, I'll change. I'll get a job. I'll pay you back. I hope you do, son. I really do. But you'll do it because you choose to grow up, not because you're entitled to my support. After they left, I sat in Linda's chair and felt peace for the first time since before the surgery. The house was quiet, but it was a good quiet now. The quiet of a man who'd finally stood up for himself. 6 months later, the Patterson Foundation for Trade Education was established with a $15 million endowment. The foundation provides scholarships for young people pursuing careers in construction, plumbing, electrical work, real skills that build real lives and strong communities. Kevin was the first to change. He got a job with a painting contractor and slowly began paying back what he owed. He still creates art, but now he does it after honest work is finished. Tyler moved out of my rental property and got a part-time job to pay his own way through college. Sarah was furious at first, but eventually admitted it was good for him. Michael and David are still angry, still resentful. Some people never learn. I'm 69 now, healthier and happier than I've been in years. My chest healed perfectly, and my heart, both the physical one and the emotional one, is stronger than ever. You know what I learned. Sometimes the people who claim to love you most are the ones taking advantage of you the worst. And sometimes strangers show you more genuine care than your own family ever will. I spent 68 years being the provider, the caretaker, the one everyone could count on. Now I'm the one setting the boundaries and demanding respect. It's never too late to stop being a doormat and start being a man who values himself. If you're reading this and recognizing yourself in my story, if you're the one always giving, always helping, always making excuses for people who don't appreciate you, maybe it's time to take a hard look at who's really there for you when you need them most. And maybe it's time to start putting yourself first for a change. The greatest gift my ungrateful children ever gave me was showing me who they really were while I still had time to do something about it.